Mystical Motherhood, your ultimate guide to conscious conception, pregnancy, birth, and beyond. Now available on Amazon for purchase. Hello, thank you for joining today. I want to begin by speaking about your diet and how to change it or improve it so you can have higher well-being. I'm going to go into my history in the clinics and in the hospitals and the type of people I worked with that really suffered because their diet was off and they weren't eating the right nutrients and they were eating the wrong things and they really didn't know how to change that. While working in the clinic, I came upon childhood obesity more than you can even imagine. There were children that were 13 years old taking blood pressure medications and didn't know how to lose weight. And they would go home and they would try with their family to lose weight, at least they said they did, and they would still suffer. And they were still confused on how to do that because it's not just about exercise, it's about what you eat, what you're consuming, and the types of foods you are putting in your system. And this is really important before you have a child. Detoxifying your system and creating a really clean vessel is so important for conscious conception. And it's the first step on your path before you conceive. So here I'm going to speak about the types of food you want to eat and the types of foods that you don't want to eat and you want to avoid in order to detoxify your system before you have a child. You want to start to detoxify and eliminate certain foods probably 3 to 6 months before you conceive. You can do something called a heavy metal detox, which I would go to Anthony Williams, Aviva Romm speaks about it on their websites. I'm not going to go into that here, but I would highly recommend going to Anthony Williams' website for this. And this should be done minimum 6 months before you conceive. You do not want to have any heavy metals in your body at the time of conception. And if you're going to detox, do a heavy detox, do this at least 3 months before you conceive or even before that, because you don't want to have any of the toxins in your body before you have a baby inside, obviously. And then you can maintain a clean diet after your heavy detox and just keep your system clean. Doing this, cleaning out your body, it connects your mind and your body and your spirit. It allows you to just connect to higher sources. It creates health in your gut, which is so important for the heart, the gut, and the mind connection in order to be functioning at higher levels. It makes you feel good. When I've done detoxes, I've lost weight, my skin clears up, I feel better than ever. People ask me if I had a facial, they ask me what's going on. It feels like I'm glowing. I feel amazing when I eat clean and when I actually stick to it. And the first time I did it, I think I lost like 5 to 10 pounds, and I realized how many intolerances I had. And I naturally did it before I had a child, not even knowing how important it was before you have a child. But I just felt amazing. And I continue to do a detox every single year since then. And this was about 6 years ago. So I do a big detox once a year and then I try to maintain that. Of course, I obviously have slip-ups, but I feel so much better and I don't feel bloated and my skin feels clear. And I learned to feed my children these healthy foods, which we're going to go over now. I personally do the clean program with Dr. Junger, and then I learned to eat clean through that, but I needed the help to know how to do that. Other people you may be able to read a book, or you can read my book, Mystical Motherhood, that's found on Amazon, to learn exactly how to detox. And I am going to go through it here. Just so you know, this is not medical advice, and you should go to a doctor with any questions on medications or food intolerances, but this is just trying to help you have a cleaner diet. And I'm going to go ahead and start to speak about all the types of food you should and you should not eat. Your health and well-being is linked to your gut and what you eat. Women need to prepare their bodies for a healthy pregnancy, and they have to rid themselves of the high amount of toxins in food and the environment in order to birth healthy children. If we want to change our frequency as women and we want to reach higher states of consciousness and birth healthy children, we must detoxify our systems and change our diet. Simply by avoiding certain foods, you can become more productive in your life, agile in activity, you can learn to overcome your obstacles, and you can get a sense of courage to move through life with more energy and strength. The way we eat has changed more over the last 50 years compared to the last 5,000 years. And we are eating in a way that is far different from our ancestors did. And we are getting really, really sick. And I saw this in the clinic. I see this with my friends. I see this with clients I work with. So it's time to improve ourselves and change our diets. And then we have to do this by eliminating foods that are reducing our energy and making our bodies feel sick. This is foods that include high fructose corn syrups, genetically modified wheat, hormone-injected dairy, and poisons in alcohol, any drugs we're consuming that are not good for us. All of these things need to be eliminated before, especially before we conceive, in order to have a conscious pregnancy. And these are all the most basic physiological needs that Abraham Maslow talked about in the hierarchy of needs, which is all included in my book, Mystical Motherhood. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to discuss to you what are the specific foods you want to eat. There are certain foods that you want to eat in order to keep a very healthy and clean diet. And fats and proteins are some of them. And you want to make sure you get good fats like omega-3 rich foods, which would be wild-caught salmon, avocados, nuts. Nuts and seeds are awesome, good, wonderful sources of healthy fats. But when you start to get pregnant, and if you're having a problem getting pregnant, you might want to cut down on, I would definitely cut down on your consumptions of heavy meats, because when animals are killed, they have high amount of cortisol in them, which causes a high amount of cortisol in you. And the fear response that they have when they are killed actually can affect you energetically. So it's something to think about, especially if you're having problems with fertility in the future. But nonetheless, a healthy amount of fats and protein to balance out your diet before you have a baby is important. Lots of vegetables and fruits. Basically, you want your diet to be mostly vegetables and fruits. And specifically, according to Anthony Williams, who is an amazing writer and genius of this world, I would recommend looking at his website too. He says to eat a lot of fruit in order to conceive. And I definitely believe that. A plant-based diet is what we have always lived off of, and just recently, in the more recent thousands of years, we changed. And fruit will help you become more fertile. Meat, again, eat sparingly. Only free range and grass fed. For fish, eat small wild-caught fish. Watch out for high mercury types of fish, which is all listed in my book, Mystical Motherhood. Eggs are back and forth between different parties. They're a great source of protein, but try to get wild or like farm fresh eggs so that they're not full of antibiotics. And there's a lot of things you don't want to eat. So some of those things include getting off of dairy. I would actually completely eliminate dairy from your food, from your diet, in order to clean up. It bogs down the liver. It prevents toxins from leaving your body. It can create a heightened allergy state within. And if you need an alternative, I would try almond milk. I would try coconut milk. I would try goat milk. My children personally can't even have dairy because of the amount of antibiotics and allergies they have to them. And you may find that even when you start breastfeeding your child, that the child can react to the milk. You don't want to eat a lot of grains or high glycemic foods. You want to eat low glycemic foods that stabilize your hormone levels. High glycemic foods, they cause inflammation, they cause stress, fluid retention, headaches, insomnia. So you want to stop all products containing gluten, which is wheat, barley, or rye. And I know this is hard, but it is very possible. And this is what's going to help you get clean. And it also helps with fertility. So you don't want to eat any refined carbohydrates such as cookies, chips, crackers, white breads. You can read in my book more about this, but grains are a modern day discovery, and our systems have adapted to process them. There are also supplements and vitamins that you should take to increase the nutrition level in your body. I'm not going to go over that all of these details within this session, but I will in further sessions. You can find us, you can subscribe to this channel, and you can find out more information about conscious pregnancy and creating a conscious family and a happy family. Online at Mystical Motherhood. You can purchase the book Mystical Motherhood on Amazon, and you can find us on social media at Mystical Motherhood, and you will learn a lot from these, and I look forward to speaking with you later.